The member for Thornhill.
Thank you very much, Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Finance. Minister, the Ontario PC Party has been clear on the need for a mandatory public sector wage freeze for more than a year now to stop you from overseeing the hemorrhaging of taxpayer money as we head towards the government's looming $411 billion deficit. I myself made this recommendation directly to you on several occasions beginning last November in your office, so you knew where we stood and you knew what you had to do, but you just made excuses, sir. We have since learned that your mismanagement of public money goes beyond what anyone ever imagined, with 98% of public sector managers receiving bonuses. Now you're scrambling, recalling the legislature to try to implement what should have been in place a long time ago. Minister, are you finally ready to admit that we were right all along, and will you now implement a wage freeze for the entire public sector for 2 years, yes or no?
Minister. Everyone sit, please. Minister of Finance.
Speaker, in fact, this government began last December speaking actively, recognizing Section 2D of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, laying out a path to be able to achieve this. On the one hand, as we maintain the important investments we've made in our classrooms, full-day learning, smaller class sizes, Mr. Speaker. We've been able to achieve an agreement with 55,000 teachers, Mr. Speaker. As the Premier has indicated, we are pushing the pause button, not just for teachers, but for others, as collective agreements come due. With respect for pay for performance, we agree that the system that member's government set up is not working. It's broken, and we will fix it, Mr. Speaker, and I look forward to their support as we do that.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Clearly, Speaker, the minister seems to have forgotten the Public Sector Compensation Restraint Act 2010. Your government is just as unwilling to learn from its mistakes as it is unwilling to take responsibility for them. You have been negligent with taxpayers' money. You are clearly ready to continue that negligence. $190 million taxpayer dollars to cover your political hide, to cancel a Mississauga power station, $35 million in bonuses to government employees when most Ontarians haven't even seen a 1% increase in their wages, not to mention Orange, not to mention e-health, which you continue to refuse to accept responsibility for, and colleges are preparing to strike. Now you won't work with our party to implement a wage freeze for all government workers. Ontario PCs will do what is needed to make sure that Ontario kids go back to school in September. Why isn't your government doing what is needed to make sure that Ontario recovers? Why do you insist on backing down from a government-wide wage freeze when you know it's exactly what is required?
Speaker, in fact, the average rate of settlement over the last 2 years has been lower in the Ontario Public Service than it has been in the broader public sector, as well as the federal government and the private sector, which helped us achieve the objectives we set forth in 2010. It's important, Mr. Speaker, to move forward, to push the pause button.
Would the member from Pembroke, if you're going to heckle, I'd ask you to sit in your own seat. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it is important to protect the gains we have made in the classroom. Smaller class sizes, full-day learning, and that's why we're pushing the pause button, and we welcome the support of the official opposition. We have others to deal with as time goes forward, Mr. Speaker. We intend to do that because it is about classrooms, it's about kids, Mr. Speaker, and about getting back to balance in a responsible way that protects the interests of all Ontarians.